What's up, boys? My name is Blue, and today I'm going to be testing out the new Camel mob in 1.20 to find out whether it's worth the hype or overrated. To do this, I'm going to be playing through Minecraft using a camel as much as possible. That means going caving with the camel, going to the nether with the camel, and yes, also going to the end with the camel. This way I'll uncover all the unique traits and capabilities of the camel and demonstrate to you how to maximize its potential. If that appeals to you, be sure to tune in. So to get started, I went underwater caving, which is actually a really good early game mining method and I do recommend it. All you need is some doors and you can get iron very easily with no danger of mobs. Now of course I needed a camel and fast, so I headed towards the Badlands because deserts can often be found near them, and there it is in the distance, a desert. Now if you didn't know, camels only spawn in desert villages, and with a bit of luck I quickly found one, and there it is boys, a camel. With the camel secured, I now had two priorities in life. One is obtaining a saddle, and number two is not being a disappointment in the eyes of my parents. So I get myself situated, I get some dirt, I get some seeds, and I make a wheat and a tree farm. I then decide to check out the surroundings. I'm mainly looking for a temple, but I find another village. With no saddle, I head towards the Badlands for some mineshaft chests. In total, I only find 3 mineshaft chests after a whole hour, and guess what? No saddle, and both of my priorities are facing steep challenges. Fortunately, when I head back into the desert, I find a desert temple with a saddle and another village with a camel. Now the camel is very interesting in that it's basically a bigger horse on which 2 people can sit because there's an extra seat on the back, so they're a bit more useful for multiplayer, but they still have some good qualities for single player. For example, their speed is equivalent to sprint jumping, which is pretty fast, and they can also launch themselves forward and bridge gaps like this river here. So they're really good for traveling long distances with a friend or by yourself, but their size can make them impractical in small spaces. And that is why, immediately following the camel acquisition, I decided to do the only logical thing with the camel and go caving. Now, believe it or not, it doesn't go well and it's tedious. There's not enough space for the camel to walk around, and so I have to dig a path for it before continuing through the cave. And the camel, it's a big bastard, so I have to dig a lot. All in all, it's not the best, and it doesn't help that the creeper eventually explodes on me, so yeah, I don't recommend going caving with the camel. On my way back to my base, I find the camel has some very weird reactions to water. Don't know why this is, but apparently there's some kind of glitch where you begin bouncing on the water when sitting on a camel. It's kinda interesting. Another cool quirk of the camel is that mobs that have the same reach as zombies and endermen can't reach you on the camel, so you're completely free to hit them while they can't hit you. Pretty cool. Now next up is trying out the camel in the nether. You might think this is a bad idea, and yeah, you're kinda right, but it's actually a lot better than expected. The camel is pretty good at traversing the normal nether biome, and you can easily get across small gaps. But of course, there's the threat of gas, lava and fire that can kill you and your camel. So when I got back to the overworld, I realized I needed better gear. Now I can't go caving with the camel, so I needed another way to get diamonds. Now if you can't go caving, the only way to get diamonds is through capitalism. So I began creating a trading emporium and monopolizing all of my crops by taking out the competition to artificially drive up prices so I can get enough emeralds to pay for diamond gear. These are my workers, I pay the minimum wage, and if I could, I would pay them even less. As I headed back into the nether, I found a fortress. Now I know it may be shocking, but fighting Blaze on Camelback, it's not the smoothest. I end up getting stuck, taking some extra fall damage, and burning to a crisp. However, I quickly get back and hard outplay this ghast. And I clear out the rest of the fortress on foot. Because that camel is not gonna die on my watch. I'm growing kinda attached to it. Back from the nether, I set my sights on expanding my wealth. The labor is cheap, but not cheap enough. So I zombify the villagers and cure them of their illness so they will worship me and lower their prices so I can increase my profits. I love Minecraft. With the cheap prices, I'm able to buy full diamond gear, and with all these emeralds, I'm beginning to feel a lot like Elon Musk. But it's not enough. My greed is too strong, and I begin gathering wealth to buy diamond tools and weapons. I'm sorry. It must be done. I also do some fishing on my camel, but it's a bit difficult to see the fish for the camel's head, so I don't recommend fishing on the camel, but you can. I'm beginning to feel comfortable, so I set my sights on building a house. Now the house has to be camel friendly, so it's not going to be the prettiest. And don't mind the shape it's taking. Considering I don't have a lot of materials, I think the house is turning out alright. I finish up the house by adding some bells, some roses and lanterns around the house. Now, I need ender pearls for the stronghold, so I get my gold I got from caving in the Badlands and go to the nether to do some bartering. Bartering is a fantastic way to get essential items like arrows, leather, iron and pearls, so I really recommend making use of it in the late game. And if there is a Badlands biome nearby you, like there is for me, gold is very easy to come by as well. I actually went caving for more gold because I ran out. Now this time I found a huge open cave, which was a lot better for the camel, and the zombies became non-problems. However, creepers and skeletons are still incredibly annoying. Now, once I got done battering, I thought my house looked a bit bare, so I decided to place some leaves around it and place some dirt at the entrance to make the house look a bit more used. And finally, my house began to look like an actual home. Now, before I fought the dragon, I needed better enchants. Bane of the Arthropods 1? Get the heck out of here, man. Sharpness 4? Now we're talking. I also end up enchanting my pickaxe, my chestplate, and a bow. I'm at a point now where I'm feeling ready for the end, and therefore I throw my first eye of Ender. After heading in the direction of the eye, I hit an ocean, and this is when I find out that camels are too big for boats and can't get in them. So I have to go all the way back, grab a lead, go all the way back again, and then pull my camel with me. The camel is really nice for traveling on land, but as soon as you hit an ocean, you better pray you have a lead. Now, after a while, I end up finding out that the stronghold is below an ocean, and that is just my luck. So because I want my camel with me, I have to create an elaborate drop-down tunnel to the portal room. But thankfully, it didn't take too long. I quickly found the portal room, dug the tunnel towards the drop-down, and dropped the camel down the hole and helped it towards the portal room. While pulling the camel into the portal, I am praying the platform isn't located above the void. I'm stressed out. If my camel dies, I'm gonna cry. As I enter the portal room, my stress levels peak. I'm stressing out, man. I don't want the camel to fall in the void, and apparently my camel thinks this is a perfect time to relax and wind down. What the fuck? The fight itself goes pretty smoothly. My camel gets thrown around a bit, but I heal it with some cactus. An enderman also ends up attacking me, but as I've said, I can just sit on my camel and it can't hit me. If it wasn't so difficult to get the camel to the portal, I think putting a pumpkin on your head would become pretty much unnecessary. And on top of that, with the camel, you're also not slowed down when drawing your bow. The camel really is a great asset in the end as well. And there you have it, I've completed the game using a camel as much as possible. This was a lot of fun. The camel is definitely fun to use, it's amazing to travel around on, and it's honestly kinda cute too. It's an amazing addition to the game, and I wanna say thank you Mojang. Some people may say that the camel is just a glorified horse. I would disagree. In my opinion, the camel is much better than the horse. I've always found the horse to be clunky to use. Their jumps are rarely of much use. You rarely need to scale something with steep verticality. In this playthrough, I found I would need the camel's jump much more often than the horses. With horses, you also have to selectively breed them for better stats, and that is often a ton of work. With the camel, you know what you're getting, and what you're getting is a fast mode of transportation, a fun tool to navigate with, a tanky health pool, and the ability to share it all with a friend. I'd say the camel is worth all the hype it's got.